What is up, guys? So I wanted to make this really quick video where we walk through how we're able to fetch a record from Airtable. We're able to research a prospect that has just come into our CRM, is uncontacted. We're going to perform background research on them. So we're going to look them up on LinkedIn. We're going to take that data, we're going to feed that into Claude to generate a conversation flow. And then we're going to be parsing that data a little bit. And then we're going to pass that data on to Retell. So it has all the information on the prospect. It knows the exact conversation flow that it needs to have before calling this prospect up. So in essence, we're able to have dynamic conversations with each prospect this way. So it's very straightforward to implement, and I hope by the end of this video, you're able to take what I show you here and implement this into your own use cases. I'm going to keep this very simple. So I have a Airtable here with just my name on it, and the status is set to be uncontacted lead. So in here, I just connected my Airtable to make.com, and we've connected to the exact table and base in Airtable. We selected a name and all the other fields that we need, and I'm just gonna hit save here. So this is very straightforward, and then the result we get is basically the name and the status essentially. And I should probably name it something better. This should be called status. Okay, save. And here I've added a filter, so only uncontacted leads will filter through. And this, I think this is gonna break now. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna uplink this and just gonna run this once. Yeah, this is gonna break. Unknown field name select. Okay. Let's go back in here and select status. Okay, so cool. That is fine. And then I'm gonna fix this filter again. So we're not checking for select, we're checking for status. Okay. And I'll show you what I've done here in this Exa module, right? Exa is essentially like a AI powered web search. The difference between Exa and web searches like Perplexity or even OpenAI's deep search model is they're not able to access places like LinkedIn, for example. So specifically in this case, I want to research myself on LinkedIn, and that's exactly the query I've provided to Exa. Tell me about name on LinkedIn. So it's gonna dynamically take that name from the Airtable record and look me up. And that's pretty much the only setting I have here. I did select yes to include content in response, and that is pretty much it. So I have disconnected the rest of the module for now. I just want to show you what happens when we actually run this. Okay, so I'm gonna hit run, and you're gonna see it passed the filter, and let's see what output we got. Okay, cool. It got my LinkedIn URL, my title, published date, January 27th. Okay, I'm not sure what that is. And text. So this is the entirety of my LinkedIn page, it seems, right? So that's pretty much all we need. Highlights. Yeah, you could often find websites of prospects here. So yeah, we have a lot of data to work with, right? So I'm gonna connect this to Claude, and let me show you the prompt here. So in Claude, I've set a token limit of 4096. This is the maximum token size you can set. The reason why I've set the highest possible token limit is because we're generating an entire conversation flow. So this is going to be a 4-step conversation flow. So the opener, then trying to hit on the prospect's pain points, and then a couple other things. So I'm quickly just gonna go over this prompt. And by the way, I'll link this prompt in the description down below, so you can just literally copy paste this entire thing, or I'll just drop the entire template. So I'm just gonna take this template and just drop it in the description. You can work off of this. So I've said you are a world-class AI cold caller. You talk very naturally and conversationally with charisma. You're provided with the LinkedIn profile of name, and your job is to generate a personalized greeting message, either highlighting a pain point, complimenting them on their recent achievement, or bring up something their competitors are doing that they may not. Remember, you are a cold caller for a company that builds custom voice agents, so I want you to generate at least 2 to 3 back and forth messages that are predictable and lead the conversation towards my offer, which is building and implementing AI voice agents in businesses. Now, of course, I'm not the best person for this prompt because I don't really have the type of business where I could use a voice agent, but let's just see what sort of output it produces. My goal with this video is to show you how to actually inject a prompt, injecting dynamic variables into a outbound voice agent phone call, right? So I just want to show that concept, which I think is far more important than the exact specific prompt, because ultimately a successful prompt requires a lot of trial and error, a lot of back and forth. It's highly contextual. So yeah, see, everything you see here is stuff that I've just kind of written up, and it's far more applicable if you're reaching out to bigger businesses and like real prospects. If speaking directly with the owner, introduce yourself warmly and share the purpose of your call, blah blah blah. And this is key here, right? So I've specified Claude to output the sequence of messages as a series of steps as a JSON like this. So step 1, step 2, step 3, step 4, and finally I provided the info that we got from Exa. So we passed that variable here, and yeah, if anything feels confusing, feel free to pause the video, feel free to go back and look at what I'm talking about. But all of this stuff is super straightforward. Make sure the output is in JSON. Make sure you have the commas here, and each step is in double quotes and inside of these curly braces. Okay, so I'm gonna hit save, and the next step is essentially just passing the output of Claude into this parse JSON module, which you can get from here. Click on JSON and you're gonna be able to get parse JSON here, right? So I'm gonna go ahead and hit delete. And the final piece of the puzzle is making that API request to Retell. So this is basically the base URL, and this is the API endpoint that we're going to be making the call to. And you're wondering, Uj, how would I know that I'm supposed to make a call to that URL? So let me make that easy for you as well. So I'm going to go on retellai.com. I'm going to click on, actually I'm going to log in as well quickly. Yes, I am who I say I am, Retell. First of all, I'm going to log in, and I'm going to open Retell in another tab. And we're going to go into documentation, right? And in documentation, they have a really good search feature here. So I could just ask phone call API. Okay. So here's the API endpoint. Okay, so this is the example usage with Node.js. We don't have Node.js here. We are just making a API call, right? So ask a follow-up question. I'm making an HTTP API call. So I'm going to use it like I don't know anything about coding. I don't know anything about programming. So example API call using JavaScript. Okay, let's say I want to make the API call from make.com. What would be the body of the API call? Okay, and what about the base URL and the endpoints? Okay, so yeah, I guess the documentation doesn't contain enough information. But I'll show you how to manually do it, right? So you go down and yeah, we go to API reference, and it's just literally the first one, right? Create phone call. And this is it. So V2, create phone call. You copy this, you go back in here, and this is basically what we have pasted here. And the base URL is this, api.retellai.com. And we're gonna be making a post request. And in the headers, we're going to have a key called authorization. And then we're gonna have a bearer, and then the API key that is provided to us by Retell. So you see here, the first one is the authorization header. It says the format is bearer space your API key. Now, where the heck do we get our API key from? I believe if I go here, let me log in one more time. And should be, yes. So I go in here, click on API keys. And I've already created an API key, but what we can do is click on add to the top right here. And you can give this key a name, and as soon as you hit create, so I'll just say Retell test, hit create, and it's gonna create an API key, and you can just see it, copy it. I'm just gonna stick with the old one that I have, and in here I have passed these dynamic variables, right? So I think when we were looking at the documentation earlier, they were only showing us the from number and the to number. The from number is the number that I bought on Retell. So if I go on phone numbers, this is the phone number that I've bought, 541-615 541-615-7646. This is my number that I'm going to be reaching out to. And then these are going to be the dynamic variables that we generated in this step. And we're going to be passing those dynamic variables back into Retell. Okay. And what we can do after is we can update a record, and Retell research agents. Need to update my connection. Okay. I think this one. Yeah. Or maybe not. Basically, what I wanted to do was I wanted to automatically change the status to a contacted lead. But ideally, the way to do that would be to watch for an end call event. So we would have to make a separate automation for that. I'm not going to go and do that in this video. Otherwise, it's going to go up and be like 30-40 minutes long. And I want to keep this short and concise. Okay, so I think our automation is ready to go. Retell looks good. So I'm going to show you my agent really quick and how simple and how straightforward it is at the moment, right? So I've only given it a very simple prompt. So conversation flow, step 1, step 2, step 3, and step 4. And you see how for any dynamic variables, all you have to do is wrap them inside 2 curly braces. And that is pretty much it. That's all you have to do. And then I specified that we're using the end call command. Otherwise, the call would never end. The way to do that is from here. We don't need calendar availability. We're not booking appointments in this one. So yeah, I want to get rid of those. And we have made sure that the AI begins with a defined begin message. Okay. Cool. So let's run this and let's see what we get. So it's running. XR performed the search. Pass it on to Claude. The API call is made. What happened here? So it looks like I'm getting an incoming call, but I'm using my phone to record this video. So I'm gonna pause this video real quick. I'm going to switch to my other camera, and I'm going to show you a demo of me talking to whatever was generated. So hang on a second, be right back. All right, back with my webcam. The sun has set here in Toronto, so it's dark. I have my phone with me, so we are going to simply go ahead and trigger this automation. So I'm gonna hit play, gonna fetch the record, make sure it's an uncontacted lead. It's gonna research me on LinkedIn, and Claude is going to generate a conversation flow, and we have passed that request on to Retell. And we can look at the data here, right? We can look at the dynamic variables that were passed. Step 1, step 2, step 3, step 4, and I'm getting a call. So I'm gonna go ahead and pick it up. Hello.
Hi. I noticed you've done some fascinating work with AI chatbots and voice assistants for local businesses. I'm particularly impressed with your approach to combining automation with AI.
I'm super busy, but okay, go ahead.
Thanks for your time. I couldn't help but notice that while you built voice assistant before, you might be interested in how the latest developments in conversational AI are transforming business operations. Given your experience at HP and your focus on workflow automation, I thought you'd find this particularly relevant.
Okay, seems interesting.
Working with companies to implement custom AI voice agents that can handle everything from customer service, sales calls, basically taking your automation expertise to the next level. Would you be curious to see how these systems can integrate with the kind of workflow automations you're already building?
Maybe. I'm super busy this week.
I'd love to show you a quick demo of our technology in action. It's really interesting to see how it complements the kind of work you've done with Zapier and Mix. Would you have 15 minutes quickly for a brief demo? I think you'll find it particularly relevant.
Okay, no, thank you. So as you can see, we're able to dynamically inject context into our prompt. By no means is this the perfect conversation flow. That would require a lot of tweaks to the prompt, knowing exactly who we're targeting, who our target audience is, what sort of leads are coming through the pipeline, what they're going to respond to, etc., right? My goal with this video is to show you how easy it is to inject dynamic context into your Retell voice agent, right? Again, this prompt can be improvised. We can teach it more about the business, who it's reaching out to, and a lot more stuff. Okay, if you found this video helpful, feel free to drop a like and a comment down below. If you want something like this implemented inside your business, don't hesitate to shoot us an email or book a call, and we'll be happy to chat. The resources for this video are going to be linked in the description down below. I'm going to include the prompt that we're using on Retell, as well as this entire blueprint for make.com that you can simply import right here. You can click import and you can select the JSON file and connect everything here, and you have it ready to go, ready to test. And yeah, until next time, peace.